Welcome to What Are Those, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with this final episode of the What Are Those podcast, man. We talked about this last week. I spent pretty much the entire show talking about the journey, you all, and just how I felt about things. Because this show, I really wanted to talk about the culture, where I think sneaker culture is, sneaker media, all of that, man. I thought about doing like a best of show and kind of like doing like a collab and of a collection of old interviews. But I said, you know what? If I want to do one last show, I want to do it good. So I brought on my favorite guest and one of my best friends in the entire world, my man Paul Spann. Y'all know him. He's been on here several times, man. Me and Paul, we talked for a while. Left y'all with a long show this time, all right? We talked for a long time, man. We talked about a lot, y'all. Sneaker culture, why we love it, how we got into it, and where it is presently and where we think it will be in the future, and also where we fit in as two older gentlemen. All right, so I'm not gonna hold y'all up, man. It's the last one. I want y'all to enjoy this interview. Without further ado, my man Paul Spann. Let's get to it. Last episode with you.
Hey man, official whistle, right? And I'm honored. Firstly for all the times that I've been able to join you on this absolutely wonderful show. I'm also honored just to be a part of these things, and I just want to say a big congrats to you. We know that everything in life evolves, bro. Yeah. Everything in life evolves. So this is just another element of a stepping stone in your evolution, but a great one and a necessary one, and one I was happy to be a part of also.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We made this movie together, so it's only right that we end this show together. You know what I mean? Hey. Those that don't know, we worked on the What Are Those podcast, the What Are Those documentary.
Yes.
And it sparked this whole thing.
Yes.
And you and I, we did that together along with LT and Leon and Clarence and everybody else. Nargis, of course, Nargis.
Yeah.
What's my girl name? Oh my God, you know what I want.
Big shout out to Risa Renee.
The
Heat, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Lauren edited the joint.
You already know.
Yeah.
L Speed out here doing your thing. You know what I'm talking about? You and your husband, man. Big congrats.
Yeah, man. That was Brian Fame, Lauren Speed.
Yeah,
man. Anyway, so I wanted to have you on, man, because last week I did all of my goodbyes to the audience.
Right.
This show has always been about the culture and the art of the culture, but really the culture, man. I have thoughts on sneaker culture, but I want to ask you first, because this episode is just all about what we think moving forward. As this show exits the building, where does it leave sneaker culture, right? Let me hear your thoughts on sneaker culture presently.
It's so crazy because in all truth and honesty, as we've engaged, like honestly, we entered these things. We were just some cats that love sneakers. You know what I'm saying? For me, a personal thing, obviously prior to me, breaking my neck and injuring my spinal cord in a car accident, I was an athlete.
Yeah.
And I played basketball 1992 through 1996 in high school. Yeah. And we all know 1992 through 1996.
Yeah, it was.
So that's like the elements of nostalgia, elements of and I can only, and to put it just personally for me, thoughts, reflections, memories of when I had these shoes on and the things that I was doing and all those things. So for both of us, I think when we, and I'm talking about, we've been doing this sneaker thing before on air and all these things, just you and I, just coming into the studio. What that every Saturday was our thing. I'm gonna see how my man getting down today, and you're gonna see how I'm getting down today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the culture now has been really interesting in the last couple years, because I'll give you a few things. For one, and feel where I'm going with this. It's inundated by all sorts of other races, of all sorts of other. Not that sneaker culture is a solely like black thing, but if we were to go down the line of things, um, excuse me, if we were to go down the line of things, a lot of the culture comes from us, right? And nowadays, it's being and not that it's a problem because it's not a problem at all. Much like almost anything else when it comes to hip hop, truthfully, when it comes to culture, like culture, and any honestly any element of things that are cool, mostly comes from the black culture, and that's just the truth of it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? It's just the truth of it. Now, over the past few years,
Right.
just from things have gone from talking stuff back and forth and homie, you don't got these and all these, and you know what I'm saying? And it's gone into like major business. And not only major business, but also large elements of controversy too, Adam. If we like understand, years and years ago, we weren't talking about things like bots. We
Right.
weren't talking about super buyers that buy up large quantities of sneakers. You know what I'm saying, and have them sitting to and in truth, even the element of social media has made the sneaker game a lot different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know how many times you and I both have watched all these stupid videos of guys, whether the shoes whether the shoes be fake or whether the shoes be real, of people just like pouring coffee on the
Mm-hmm.
foam and doing all sorts of crazy
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like for I'm 45 years old, you know what I'm saying? And like I
Right.
said, I played basketball 1992 through 96.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like all of those things are in me. I appreciate I appreciate the money that people have been able to make.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the business savvy that people are learning, and even just in something that we love and enjoy, and how you can take something like that and turn it into 100% legitimate business. Even in how I also enjoy the fact that the sneakerhead and the sneaker community honestly is taken more seriously.
Right.
You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
so those elements and those things, I'm very grateful for. Excuse me, guys. I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, there are other things that come along with.
Yeah.
So for all of that progression, for all of the business savvy, for all of that, it's also people,
Mm-hmm.
certain people. Not me. I think that any element of culture that can be shared is something to be shared. Other
Yeah.
people view other races and different people joining things as culture vulture. You
Yeah.
understand? You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's I think that all of those goods and bads are going to continually exist. I think that this business portion of it is going to steady grow, but
Mm-hmm.
something that is happening, like certain things are being checked or are attempting to be
Mm-hmm.
checked and regulated better. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? It's not just Bama's fly by night, just quoting any price for anything and making things just overtly more difficult to get.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully as time continues progressing, that we will that corporate will
Right.
just do better.
Right.
We'll really do better and just allow people to get shoes, man. And like it's really, I don't know, man. Like I say, it's an upside and a downside to plenty of things. Like this. Like of course, in air quotes, in theory,
Right.
having something exclusive and having you know what I'm saying, that something that a whole lot of people don't have is the thing. But man, like at some point in time, sometimes you just want to get some sneaks.
Yeah. 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 Uh, quick time out. How my
Yeah,
mic sound? My mic sound
you
okay?
sound great over
Okay,
here.
cool. Because it wasn't reading early. Okay,
Mm.
back on.
Fuck.
Yes. So obviously, there's a lot of thoughts about sneaker culture. You just gave plenty.
Right.
One thing I've noticed, I've always been a part of sneaker culture, but it's different when you're in sneaker media, and that's what I learned
Mm.
doing this show. More so
Mm.
than I did when we did the documentary. We did the documentary. It
That
was a
was
lot
still
of
just love.
it was just a lot of love. It was finding
Mm-hmm.
people in sneaker media to interview. Being a
Mm-hmm.
part of sneaker media, I will be honest with you, was not the most fun process or part of sneaker culture. You and
Mm-hmm.
I have had many conversations,
We have.
okay? I've noticed that sneakers for a lot of people, especially in media, because I don't know if, like, the normal average Joe, and this is one thing I've been. So let me bury the lead real quick. I come out of it positive. I come out of the media space of sneakers positive, feeling good about it, because I know the people, and it's something I mentioned last week on the show, and I made a point to put this in my reel because I really wanted people to hear
There's some
this
great
part.
people in the community.
Yes, and I really wanted people to hear this part, that this show was not for the sneaker head per se, it was for people that were interested in sneakers, right? So I think that's why sneaker culture has feels like it's grown. Something you just expressed. It's grown. It's bigger than it's ever been, and people are willing to take risks. But inside sneaker media, right? The people that cover sneakers, YouTubers, bloggers, there's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of unnecessary drama,
Right.
And I think it's because a big part of sneaker culture has become content around sneaker culture, right? It's not just about, it's not, and I think that's where it feels messy. It's not just about, like, okay, I got these Olympic 7s, bro. You got the, I'm wearing, I'm gonna say, all right, bet when we out, we got the da-da-da. What are those and another? It's about, do I know more than you? Do I have more access than you? Can I make an issue out of something that maybe doesn't need to be an issue? Right. Some people have great intentions. I've talked about this several times on the show. I've talked about it with you. Representation is a good thing. Representation in any field is a good thing. But when you know there needs to be representation, do you use that as a part of your brand as opposed to being authentic about wanting people to have representation? Therefore, there's arguments and debates happening and on platforms that probably don't need to be.
Understood.
Are we taking now? That's just the representation part. Are you mad at a brand are you constantly hawking on a brand or constantly hawking on another content creator? Right. And again, I say that because I've been in this weird media space. I don't know if I would have paid attention to these things had I not
been
in this media space. Right now, no one's ever come for me. I've never come for anybody, and I'm not coming for anybody now. I'm just suggesting to people that are in that space, and I would say to the people, because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Butler did it talking about this, right?
Right.
Anything you and I do outside of the show, I would say to the people that may be listening to this show that are in the media, ultimately, you control the vibe of what this is. And if people are being swayed away from just having fun with the culture, this is just supposed to be fun.
That's what it started out as.
Why wouldn't it be anything but?
Right.
You can't give me a good reason why it isn't anything but fun.
Right.
I understand maybe you want to investigate like StockX, or maybe you want to figure out what's going on with the Nike, the sneakers app, or you want to figure out fakes and all these things we talked about.
And that's for corporate reasons. That don't have nothing to do with me and you. I mean, ultimately, it has something to do with us, but it doesn't have nothing to do with me and you.
Yeah, because everything I'm talking about is necessary to an extent. Representation is super important. Specifically women within the sneaker culture, because it took me a minute to understand, okay, not just that women need to have the shoes. Women need to be in the room calling shots.
Yeah, they need that recognition.
Yes. Perfect.
And their contributions respected.
Yes. We want to hunt out fakes. We don't want people spending resale prices for fakes. Understood. Yes, we want to know if a store is backdooring sneakers.
Yes, or if an employee's son is running amok.
There you go. These are cool stories, the Kanye thing, all that, right? But to an extent, I'm not saying don't talk about things, but I am saying that I am wondering if it's been more about that than the actual culture. So one thing I started this year off, and then I'm gonna pass it to you, bro. I started this year off with make sneaker culture great again, and make sneaker culture fun again, and all of that. And that was for a reason why I talked about the Vomeros and these smaller little GR Nikes and things. I think the thing has gotten, because it's not that the people care. I'm telling you, I'm saying this not to you, Pete, but to the people that may be listening, because it's my last shot at it. The people care about the stuff they can walk into the store and
pick up.
That's all they care about. They don't want to know. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Like different sectors of people can have niche conversations.
Yeah,
you understand? Like those of us, like, when we get in the room with certain people, we're going to get into, particularly this the exclusive, man. I got the wing 12s, and underneath them is the gold.
But hold on. How often do we outside, before I took on this gig, let's keep it a $100 bill, okay? How often you and I talk about the intricacies of the sneaker industry? Me and you would talk about what's
dropping. We talk about sneakers, right? Okay. Right. We talk about sneakers, like for these show purposes. We talk.
That's
about
what I'm saying, for show
purposes. But like other than never, that, I say, damn, bro, you picked up them Off-White 2s, and then you say, darn, bro, I like them Jade 5s, and then you understand what I'm saying, and then we go from there. I'm trying to get them Wizards 3s when they come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, like, there are other conversations that I can have with certain people, just because we talk about, I try to, for certain things, for me, I liked having certain J's and different things that an overt group of people wouldn't have when I'm out and about. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one of those little things. But it's not like what you were saying, like, for the purposes of this show and for some of the other things you were talking about, we just presenting certain things to the regular layman that may just want to get into sneakers and may just want to have a little fun, because like you said, ultimately that was the genesis of it. It was it's fun, it's a feeling, it's a like, even with that friendly competitiveness, you know what I'm saying, because that's what it is. That's what it's always been between you and I. You know what I'm saying? It's all and other of our friends. Like, a come in, let me peep up, man. I see, you know what I'm saying? Like a friendly, man, I'm about to slide. I ain't even gonna tell you what I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna slide on this and I'm gonna slide on that. It's like that. You know what I'm saying? But not like an actual thing where, like you talked about, you and I can both attest to all sorts of blogger wars. And I'm just gonna be keeping a big with the audience. You've told me, about many intricacies about, being able to interview certain people and not being able to interview certain people, that have this person has a tie with this person and this person may not particularly care for this person. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, even if it's somebody that you don't have a problem with and you wanted to yell at, you still gotta play,
politics, man.
Yeah.
That's basically, I think that's I think in the middle of doing this, the politics irritating me, and it took me a minute to realize this, because at first, I ain't gonna lie, I started thinking, man, damn, am I bored with like sneakers? It's like, this is happening, Am I bored with it? That can't be. It's the politics, and and again, I've been outside of it all. Nobody's, again, they probably, if they are listening, if anybody's listening to this show that's in me, they probably like, I ain't even been, man, thought like that, because I never said nothing. Man, I ain't got no problem with nobody, but I just notice it. And I do think, now I'm going to give some people some grace, because I do think that as sneaker culture grows and corporations understand that content creators are important to the brands, right? And they start working with some of these content creators and not working with other content creators, right? I think all that can cause feelings, right? And I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people have been able to get behind the curtain and see how things work. And I think maybe they're finding out things as you would with any anything. I remember when I first started working in politics and news, I was getting behind the curtain and seeing how things work, and then realizing, like, so sometimes I hear, like, my wife and I, right, we ride in the car to drop my son off. We listen to a particular radio show. I'm not gonna call out the radio show. They got like a politics segment, and to me, it's real like basic level politics. And it frustrates me, because I've worked in news and politics for years now, and I know the conversation is baseline. But I also have to remember that I know things. I've been privy to things
behind the doors,
behind the curtain. I think it's the same thing for some content creators that have been to Oregon and been to
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Have conversations with some of these, you know what I mean? I was listening to my homegirl Jerlissa. I want to say her name right. I'm sorry, Jerlissa.
There you go. There you go.
She was on this show.
You got it going on.
Yeah, no, I do that for a reason because she was on this show, and I think I may have mispronounced her name. And you know, I've done that before.
Yeah, it's just that.
She was on the Sock Jig podcast. Shouts out to him, who's also been on the show as well. And she talked about how, you know, she's worked with brands, Complex, all these brands, and how she understands how certain things go. So I respect that, right? But I also think that, you know, and this is outside of her now, I'm not talking about her any longer, just in general. I think that if you're into sneakers real tough, you're going to see a bunch of content creators talking inside baseball. They're just talking to each other.
Right.
Talk to the people.
Right.
Talk to the people. Right. That's what I would say. That's what I would like to see happen. Because if you're interested in this thing growing, then talk to the people. Don't be so inside baseball. Not about anybody in particular. Don't be so inside baseball because you're trying to prove that you're the most knowledgeable person in the room.
Right.
Yeah. That's
to where it evaporates every element of fun that we possibly could have had. And on top of that, you don't want to alienate people. Alienate them, you know, coming into the car. We've had all sorts of friends. Be it other dudes, be it other young women that, you know, they just caught a vibe on how me and you got that. And they would just ask us questions. They would come, man, I'm thinking about, you know, doing this, and I'm thinking about doing that. And we would just, you know, guide them. You know what I'm saying? Not like with you know, with making fun of you. Well, no, we made fun of some people because they we made fun of certain people. But
a little bit. Shouts out to Smooth.
You already know.
That's my boy.
Oh man. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, man, like I said, with
6 rings,
with the boy, oh boy.
Actually, these 6 rings. Anyway, sorry, I'm about to now be I'm big about.
Stop. With the business part of this, with all of those things, it did sort of it definitely took elements of just fun and getting down and having a good time out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we think about I mean, honestly, not even to do this, like all the way back, I'm thinking about the stanza, the part in the movie that shot all the way from the hip hoppity rapping attack of the Chuck Taylor Converse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To you know, Run DMC with the Adidas with no laces and all those things, to Will Smith and the Fresh Prince being such an icon because of the sneaks when stuff was just like fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the because business, like I think that it's not going to change. Business is still going to be business, and social media isn't going to get smaller. Like it isn't. So those, but I think that if we can continue to cleverly be gracious, you know, like the business part is going to be what it is. But I hope that that we just don't become that the culture just doesn't become so uppity, bro.
Yeah, and I also, you know, well, I got a question for you, but I'll make it simple real quick. I do, I don't want it to become rigid and uppity, and I also think that, you know, there's a lot of things that jade you, hype beasts, and
understood.
You know, and I think over the past couple of years, and we've talked about this bubble, the sneaker bubble, right? That I do think has burst. Honestly, you know, a lot of people look at it as a bad thing. Oh, Jordan 1s, and I love the fact that there's a lot of ones you can just walk up in the store and shop, and I love that, right? So I think these are good things. But some people, if you're in it for different reasons, you won't, right? Speaking on that fun piece, before I ask my question, I had my man Shake on here. Shake is, Adidas guy, known for hanging out with, Jam Master Jay was his best friend.
Right.
He rolled with Run DMC. This man is
right.
one of the best guests I've ever had on the show. He's amazing.
Right.
Amazing guy too.
Big
but
shout out, bro.
His stories, most of his stories come from the 90s, and he's just like, it wasn't no Yeezys and all that back then. It was Adidas that you weren't even thinking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how he just would, and how that was just fun for him. And and I think that's something that those of us in our age group yearn for, which brings me to my question. Can you now, I know you can never age out of just liking sneakers, right? In terms of just, I want to get them because I want to look a certain way. The Kenya Barris thing, right? Like you a 40, 50-year-old man, but you still 60-year-old man even, but you still got your look as your look. Because it's your sneakers, right? I know that. But can you age out of the hustle and bustle of participating in sneaker culture?
Most definitely. But and definitely in parts of it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
I'm not frozen on your end, am I?
Nope, you're good.
Okay, well, I'm frozen on this end. I'm just gonna keep rocking.
Yeah, keep rocking. I'll let you know if it's
definite parts of it for sure. You understand what I'm saying? Like you were talking about. The fun element, the talking back and forth, those things gonna always be a part. And I also say this: there are certain looks when it comes to sneaker culture that I personally have grown in and out of. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be a super huge phone posit guy. You know what I'm saying? And I just grew out of it for real.
Yeah.
For real. I didn't used to be a big two guy.
Yeah.
But I jive I jive like them now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think that like the rigidness and the pointing and all the exhaustive stuff. Of course, like understand something. You are a married man, you know what I'm saying, an active father, a new father of one. You already had one. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there, have a wife and businesses. So there are certain things that you don't even just wish to participate in. And honestly, some things you might don't even have time enough for, whether it be the intellectual part of the time or the actual time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So some of the superciliousness that some of our younger contemporaries may be engaged in currently.
Yeah.
I know that a lot for you and I and a lot of other cats like us, like those things aren't a part of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the hustle and bustle, the keeping up with certain things, the caring, like I'm big on like, man, wear what you want. Like that to me, I feel like an old dude talking about 90s hip hop. Like, people talking about 90s hip hop, the big thing we always go to is everybody sounded different. And it's true, right? But times change, right? Who am I to tell my brother or my sister? Oh, okay. Who am I to tell my brother or my sister who are, in their 20s and teens, right? To not like a sound, right?
Right.
Tyler, the Creator, was on a podcast recently. He made a great point about how like people that are like 22 talk about Illmatic's their favorite album, and he's like, this bullshit. They got it because you know what I mean? Like, so this Jordan thing with sneakers, because to me, as I always say, it's a subculture of hip hop culture. It is amazing that Jordans are still a thing when there's like a whole generation of kids that have not even kids anymore. My brother's what, 25, I think. My brother has never seen Michael Jordan play. Okay, so to that point, we love sneakers for a totally different reason. You brought this up at the beginning of the show. While you were in the sneakers, 92 to 96, you played ball, this, that, and that. I pointed at these Olympic sevens. Those Olympic sevens, I used those for example in the last episode. Why they mean something to me? Because they
you, right.
So it's so much different, right? And yes, everybody, you know, of course you had a bunch of dudes walking around with 6s on, a bunch of dudes walking around with 11s on, of course, right?
Right.
But it did feel like it wasn't about like, because this is the hype sneaker, this is the
Mm-hmm.
supreme collab, and this is why this is in it. It didn't feel like that. And if you are of a certain age, you can feel jaded by that because, frankly, it feels corny. It feels corny. There's some YouTubers I watch, man. God bless them, good dudes. But they always talk about people are saying this and people think this and people not gonna like that. And I always just cringe when I hear that. And then I wonder, well, why am I watching this? Right? Like it's clearly they're not talking. This isn't for me.
Me, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that you can age out of
Mm-hmm.
the portion of keeping up with the Joneses. You can age out of the like, you know, wanting to know like the sneaker news part of it. You can age out of. I think that you can age gracefully into like this new part of sneaker culture that I really like, where you're wearing them to work, you're wearing them to, you know, you just you're just looking fresh.
Adam, within the past couple years, sneaker balls have been a thing.
A big thing. You know, I've
You
never been to
understand?
one. I've
You
never been to
understand?
one.
Yeah. I don't think I have either, bro. And we shall change that.
Yeah, I
But
was say it's amazing. I've never been invited to a sneaker ball.
but understand
Yeah,
that.
but go ahead.
Understand what we're talking about. Like understand that element of the culture. To
Yeah.
whereas like we're like full flat out balls and
Yeah.
cotillions, like real life, get dressed to the nines
Yeah.
and throw on some fly sneaks.
And the dope thing
You know
about
what
it
I'm
is you
saying?
don't have to be. This isn't like a sneakerhead exclusive thing. I've seen so
Anyone.
many sneaker ball. There was one this weekend in the city. It was like cigars, sundresses, and
I
sneakers.
know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. I know
Yeah.
exactly. So like so think about that. Like that
Mhm.
that is fun.
Yes.
You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's fun, and
Yeah.
it shows the elevation of the thought process of sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like some things that we touched on in the movie, some things that I'm sure you've talked about on the show many times
Yeah.
is people talking about a person's maturity level
Mm-hmm.
when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to sneakers and certain things like that. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
where it's like you know, like how old are you gonna be, you know, blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah 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 and
Yeah.
all that stuff, which is ridiculous.
But I think that part of it
Mm-hmm.
is ended. And as you were speaking, I thought about something because you made a great point about like events.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to think, man. You got to remember, we've been in this pandemic, which is kind of at its end at this point
Right,
in terms of a
right,
pandemic, both from the government standpoint, it's declared it pretty much over, but also the numbers are lower. People still catching COVID, people still getting very sick from COVID,
right.
no doubt. But the lockdown portion or
The mandatories and all of that
yeah,
is
and the
yeah.
cautious part of it is
Right,
over, right? But think about it. We had been in it for at least 2.5 years, right?
right.
This is most of the stuff we talk about. We made that movie before the
We did.
pandemic.
We did.
Most of the stuff that we're bringing up now, right? Like people hoarding sneakers,
Mm-hmm.
it being all about like what's hot as opposed to what you got on your feet. All that is kind of, it was very amplified. Even the hype of the Jordan 1 was amplified because of The Last Dance,
Very true.
right? The
Very
Jordan
true.
1, other outside of like the shattered backboards and maybe like the Chicago, most Jordan 1s, even on a resale, you was getting them for about $300, $400 if you wanted. That
Mm-hmm.
was like the high end of resale. All of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
every Jordan 1 was like $700 to $1,000. That was like a
Yeah.
thing in 2020, 2021. What I'm getting at, P, is like we're starting to get out of the like museum portion of sneaker culture bubbled up because it turned into a museum portion. Resellers are
Understood.
making big bread because they had all the
Understood.
money. Okay. So now I think that even in terms of this show is a good time to end it because now it's about getting outside. It's about going to those events and just wearing your shit
Mm-hmm.
and just feeling good when you got it on. That's all it's about for me. And so I think that over the past couple of years, it's been a misrepresentation of what sneaker culture really is. Sneaker culture really became about the reseller, the media, and the observer, right? The media got really big because
Mm-hmm.
media got bigger in the pandemic. Everybody started a
Mm-hmm.
podcast and all this and
Mm-hmm.
that. Okay, trust me, I
Mm-hmm.
did too. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the reseller got a lot because hey, it was a good business to start while you sitting at home. And the observer was just looking and going, damn, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish, I wish, I
Mm-hmm.
wish, I wish. Now that that's over to an extent, Yeezys are gone pretty much. I mean, they just did
Right.
all the, they're getting rid of their inventory, but the Yeezy thing is gone.
Yeah.
Jordan 1 hype is down. Even like Ama Maniers and stuff like that. Some of them sell hype. Some of them you can still get those 12s right now, and I recommend that you do
Right now.
it's dope. I got the black ones upstairs. I got them as a gift. It was wonderful. I love it. I haven't worn them yet, and I'm going to.
Right.
Go get shit just because it's not hyped up or is sitting on those. Tell you something funny. I found out that my grandfather on my mother's side was Cuban. So I got some Cuban in me,
Cuban
okay?
B.
Now I realize I got some Cuban in me. Now I want to
Cuban
get,
B.
you know what I mean? Like I don't feel so bad wearing like a Cuban themed like Air Force One or something like that.
Right.
You know, those West Indies joints.
They got the West Indies, they got the Puerto Ricos, they got all sorts of junk.
Yeah, those West Indies joints are like sitting for like $75 on Nike right now. Like these are good things. And so I don't think, again, it's not about the idea of aging. Like you mentioned this earlier, the at your age and this, that, and that. I think that's over. I think the good thing about sneaker culture blowing up over the past couple of years is that people realize sneakers are cool. I shared, I can't remember the senator, I'm sorry, the junior, I can't remember the congressman's name. But just think about this congressman that's a sneakerhead and how he realized there's no shoe policy on the Hill and how he wears sneakers all the time. You know what I mean? And how sneakers are part of American culture this time. I believe you could probably go to a job interview with a nice pair of sneakers on. You know what I mean? But that's the positive. The negative was that it became a little too self-involved. It became a little too serious, like you said, a little too stuffy, a little too. It got corny for a long time, and I'm hoping that
like
that phases out.
All these new rigid rules, and then like you said, and the people pushing onto other people what they should and shouldn't wear. You know what I'm saying? Like catch a vibe. Like understand all of these things started for me personally. It's a vibe. It's how I feel. I was having a conversation with my nephew who is 26, and we were talking. Like I was explaining to him how things like they have the advantage of having all these retros and all those things. I was that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like understand back in the day, those Jordans only came out like not once a year, but only at that time period. Like it wasn't a we're gonna release this 3 and we're gonna release this other. Nah, they came when in 92 when the 7s came out, you got different variations of 7s.
Yeah,
like they didn't go back and give you other variations of 5s or nothing like that. Like you got that. And that, like he didn't even realize that's why it's the numbered system. I was like, that's why they're numbered. And that's like understand, you got to think like before all of this time, like we were getting those sneakers when they came out. Like the one time, like back in like now, and I even told him, I said nowadays you can retro when you can wear all sorts of J's, all sorts of old sneakers. Back in the day, you got clowned if you had the old J's on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So so many things have changed. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as ideologies and all those things go. But I think that, like you said, with eliminating all this rigidency and all of the must, you got to do this, and if you want to be exclusive, you got to do that.
Right.
Like that aspect of people in our age and going even further is bringing certain parts of the fun back. And even if we can help the youngins realize that's a good part of it too.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be on a better incline.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I think that, I agree with you 100% as we begin to wrap this up. I agree with you 100%, man. I think about, I you know how I am about customer service and the reseller got
nothing boils your blood worse.
Nothing boils my listen, man. Nothing chaps my ass like
it's some bad customer service.
Yeah, but no, because certain resellers got powerful and they would just kind of talk to people like, almost like they was dope dealers, like, yeah, y'all stupid, man. I told y'all that. And I think that, becomes from a hunger. And I think people are starting to call now. That's why I'm glad that certain things are just available, not because it's hurting a reseller, but just because people need those options. I think about Atlanta, one of the greatest shows ever. In that episode of Atlanta with
Yes.
Darius,
Yes.
with
Making them
Darius
grandmas
and
kiss.
yeah, okay, but just for the audience that don't know, Darius and Earn, Donald Glover and Keith Stanfield's characters, they want to get these things called Nike Miracles, right? And they meet a reseller up in the van or whatever, and the reseller got them, and they all, damn, you got size 11 and 12. Oh man. And he go, Earn got some money now, you know what I'm saying? They got money now.
He living good. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
how much? Dude was like,
Hey,
nothing
Paperboy
really.
is doing well.
Yeah, dude, your man say, nothing really. I just need to see y'all kiss. And that, obviously on the surface, if you don't get and they have a big debate about it and, what happens, right? But that, to me, was brilliant.
Brilliant satire.
Because it speaks to where we were. Like, you had situations when sneaker stores are going, yeah, you got to break the box and
in front of us. Step on your box in front of us. You had some places telling people that they had to put their shoes on and walk out with them.
That's what I'm saying, man. Or people telling people, like you said, who can buy what.
Yeah.
Again, I know everyone means well, but it's just, that's too much, man. Like, nothing is worth that. Nothing is worth that, man. Like, I know that certain things are meant for certain people. I always make the joke about the DC Mo, man. Like, if they made that sneaker, I promise you somebody in Utah would have the DC.
They would definitely have some DC Mo's.
Okay, like,
they would definitely have some DC Mo's.
All right, like, so, bro, it is what it is, and I think that some people have got it figured out. Shouts out to the Sneak This podcast. I'm shouting out a lot of people.
Most definitely. Show them
they've been on the show. Well, Greg's been on the show. And that's something he talks about. Like, it's just, y'all got to just, some parts of this thing, it is a capitalistic thing, man. It's about
most definitely
spending and buying. Okay, it's about spending, earning, and buying. It is what it is. The sneaker shop, the sneaker reseller, or the sneaker store is trying to earn. We trying to spend so we can wear something materialistic. It just is what it is, man.
Right.
We can talk about the art of it, which is something you and I are big on.
Yeah.
We talk about Black culture, which is something we're big on.
It's still a part of it, but capitalism is
ultimately it's do I got the money to cop bang, 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 bang. And that's just what it is. And so we gotta lighten up a little bit. And that would be my parting message, and I'll speak more to it in my outro.
Understood. I'll just say
you gotta lighten up a little bit, man. Go for it, bro.
I'll say this, and that's ultimately even the importance and the beauty of this show in particular, right? To even being able to use your perspective and to walk all of these journeys with your audience, and I mean, even as things change and grow for you and myself. You understand what I'm saying? Like I remember when you and I were geeked to get the Gone Fishing foam posits.
Oh my God, that's a beautiful sneaker, young.
Like geeks, like we were like
the fishing bag,
overt, all the stuff that it came with. I've since sold mine.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Bro. I had them joints on in the movie. I had them on.
Yes. So it's just like it's a beautiful journey, and for me, like I mean, I've graduated from Black Man Span. I'm now Black Grand Span.
Yeah, you go.
And my and it doesn't matter. Like I can see ahead of time at my grandson's functions and my granddaughter's functions and all the things I'm gonna be going to. I'm still gonna be rocking. I might have on a sweater vest.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, but the footwear, certain things are just like hip hop will always be my personal old school and classic music.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like before funk and like all of that. Like I know certain elements of old school music and stuff, but hip hop, I'm hip hop.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like R&B, all that stuff, but it's like that's never going to change. Like I would imagine. I mean, you think of what we talking about. Like you got to think, Jay-Z's in his 50s.
Yeah.
Pusha T is in his 50s. Lil Wayne is your age.
Yeah, he's my age exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like these parts of certain elements of culture aren't going to change for us just because we're getting older. But I'm liking the part that it's growing, evolving, and like what you just said, we're specifically letting people know that let's get back to lightening up and back to having a little bit of fun. And truthfully, like cats our age, like certain of those things that are going on, we've I'm not talking about we've aged out of sneakers. We've aged out of the superciliousness.
Yeah, there it is, man. And that's that, brother. We'll leave it at that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, bruh.
You already know, man. Hey, man, shout out to all of your contributors to the show. Big shout out to y'all for the platform and all that y'all were able to do with and for the big homie. And like I said, that everybody knows, like, everything grows and evolves. So this, was a necessary step, and
Yep.
and keep on the lookout.
Keep on the lookout.
You already know.
We know what it is, man.
All right.
Paul Spann, thank you, brother. I will talk to you
Always.
soon.
You know what it is, bro.
All right, well, that's it, people. As I said before, man, it's been a hell of a journey. Please be on the lookout, man. The Butler Did It podcast. That is the move. That's the future. That's what we're doing from here on out. For right now, you can go check out the Butler Did It on my YouTube page and my link tree, but it is the Butler Did It podcast hub on YouTube, the Butler Did It podcast hub, or at the Butler Did It podcast. You can find it either way. You can follow me, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam, for all things Butler Did It. That's where you go, man. Link tree's there. You can follow me. You could subscribe to the YouTube. You can subscribe on any podcasting platform. However you want to do it, it's all available right there on my page. MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam, the Butler Did It podcast on all podcasting platforms, and of course YouTube. That's moving forward. I will have a new episode this Thursday, okay? New episode this Thursday, so be on the lookout this Thursday and every Thursday after it, man. We're not slowing down for nothing. It's just the end of this show, man. And I do want to leave this audience, and I do hope you all follow me over to the Butler Did It, man. That'd be wonderful. Please do that. But I do want to leave this audience with this. And I don't mean to be harsh. Try not to be corny, man. Have fun with this. That's what me and Paul talked about for about 40 minutes, man. Have fun with this. It's sneakers, man. We're not talking about world politics. We're not talking about, war and carnage here, man. We're talking about sneakers. It's supposed to be fun. So have fun with it, man. That's why I got into it. That's why you should get into it as well, man. Have fun with it. All right, man. Remember to mind your mental health. Mind your mental health. Do that forever. Mind your mental health is super important. Okay, mind your physical health. You know what it is, man. Get outside, take a jog, take a walk. Do what you got to do, man. Do something physical outdoors. Get some sun on you, all right? And please never forget and always continue to be great. I'm up out of here. Peace.